Welcome, friends, to The Quest for a Chief, a podcast series where we explore the history, lineage, and ongoing search for the Chief of Clan Logan. This series is brought to you by bagtownclans.com, your resource for everything related to Scottish clans and heritage. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald, and today we're stepping back in time to uncover the origins of Clan Logan, a family steeped in history and tradition. Our journey today focuses on where it all began, the prominent branches of Clan Logan, the legacy of George Logan of that ilk, and the chiefship that has remained unclaimed for over 2 centuries. This is a tale of perseverance, genealogical detective work, and a collective effort to restore a vital piece of Scottish history. Let's begin. Clan Logan's history is as rich and intricate as Scotland's landscape. Over the centuries, the family has branched into many prominent lines, 3 of which are particularly well known. These include the Highland branch, the Logans of Drumdeurfit, and 2 Lowland branches, the Logans of Restalrig and the Logans of that ilk, centred in Ayrshire. These are just 3 of many significant branches that highlight the family's widespread influence. The Logans of Drumdeurfit are often associated with the rugged resilience of the Highlands. Meanwhile, the Lowland branches, Restalrig and that ilk, represent a more diverse heritage tied to fertile lowlands and historical hubs like Edinburgh. Each branch contributes uniquely to the overall legacy of Clan Logan. Yet, amidst this complexity, one critical element has been missing: a recognised chief of name and arms. Clan Logan has been without a chief since the early 19th century, leaving a gap in leadership and representation for this ancient family. To understand the search for a chief, we must travel back to the year 1672. It was then that Scottish Parliament passed a law requiring individuals who claimed arms to register them with the heraldic authority of Scotland, known as the Court of the Lord Lion. This law was designed to prevent disputes over arms and to establish a clear record of rightful ownership. Among those who stepped forward to register their arms was George Logan of that ilk. The term "of that ilk" signifies that George was the head of the Logan family, tied to the lands and name of Logan. His registration not only established him as chief of name and arms, but also set a precedent for future claims. Any Logan who wishes to claim the chiefship today must prove a direct line of descent from George Logan or one of his ancestors. While George's registration provided a foundation, it also created a challenge. Proving descent from George Logan has proven extraordinarily difficult due to lost records, family disputes, and the passage of time. For over 200 years, no one has been able to present sufficient evidence to the Lord Lion. The search for a chief was formally reignited in 2001 when John Logan Marjoribanks, heritage officer of the Clan Logan Society, partnered with Peter Logan, a dedicated genealogist. Together, they embarked on a mission to trace George Logan's lineage and find a living descendant who could claim the chiefship. Their journey began with the history of the Logan family, written by Major G.J.N. Logan Home in 1934. The book, while an impressive effort for its time, contained some inaccuracies and speculative connections. For example, it attempted to link various Logan branches, but subsequent research has proven many of these connections incorrect. Still, it served as a valuable starting point. One key figure in this story is George Logan of that ilk, often referred to as the Armiger for his role in registering the family's arms. George had 3 sons, William, Alan, and Hugh. Each of these sons carried the chiefship forward, but none left legitimate heirs to continue the line. What's crucial to clarify is that Hugh, the youngest son, had 3 sons of his own: George, William, and another Hugh. This youngest Hugh became the last Laird of Logan. Known for his wit and love of life, Hugh never married and left no legitimate descendants. When he died in 1802, his sister Janet inherited the lands along with the family's debts, marking the end of the line for this branch of the family. With no direct heirs, the search for a chief shifted focus to collateral lines, relatives who might still connect to George Logan of that ilk. This includes tracing descendants of George's ancestors like Alexander Logan and meticulously examining records for any surviving connections. However, the search remains painstakingly slow, with no definitive links found so far. This brings us to a key point in our story. While the Logans have many branches, the search for a chief is focused on tracing descendants from George Logan of that ilk and his immediate family. Connections to other branches such as Restalrig or Drumdeurfit cannot lead to a legitimate claim to the chiefship. The task is to find living descendants within the specific line of succession outlined by Scottish heraldic law. Friends, that concludes our first episode of The Quest for a Chief. Today, we've laid the groundwork for the story ahead, exploring the origins of Clan Logan, the pivotal role of George Logan of that ilk, and the challenges that have shaped the search for a chief. In our next episode, we'll dive deeper into the early stages of this search, the resources used, and the hurdles faced by John Logan Marjoribanks and Peter Logan. Together, we'll uncover more of Clan Logan's rich history and the ongoing effort to honour its legacy. This is The Quest for a Chief, brought to you by bagtownclans.com. If you're inspired by this journey and want to explore your own Scottish heritage, visit bagtownclans.com for resources on Scottish clans and family history. Until next time, I'm Colin MacDonald, and may the road rise up to meet you.